Peace. You know what it is. It's your man SKYZOO Skyzoo, live out the borough. And this is the NBA Exchange with my man Dexter Henry. You know how you doing it, man. Log on, tap in. Let's get into it.
What's good, everybody? Happy holidays. We are coming to you on Christmas Eve. Dexter Henry, host of the NBA Exchange. And holidays are right upon us. That means NBA Christmas Day games are here tomorrow, or will they be? Who knows what's going to happen in this world of COVID. But for this episode, we're doing a special thing. Do a little Friendsmas. We're going to spread some love around with the friends, talking some NBA basketball. So I got my guys with me. You know most of them. You've seen them. They've all been on the show. In fact, Jamal Murphy, he was on the show earlier this week, and he's coming back. First up, let me introduce, though, my man from the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. He's probably salty because the Miami Heat do not have a Christmas Day game. We all know that he's upset about that. That is Bryan Fonseca. Bryan, you're shaking your head, lying to us, but we all know it's true. What's going on, man?
This low-hanging fruit shit is gonna stop someday. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like the Friendsmas energy. You know what I mean? Just going right to the Heat. I would have preferred you said that Bryan is not happy with Duncan Robinson because, as you know, I was not necessarily for that $90 million contract that Max Strus is already outplaying him for. So
how you gonna tell me to not come with the energy that you say some shit that makes you absolutely sound like a Heat fan?
Yeah, because but here's the thing. You know, I'm not for the let's overpay the guy who's really good at one
You're
thing.
A Heat fan.
You know what I'm saying? Like
he's a Heat fan, folks.
It just doesn't make sense. Fan. But yeah, other than that, smooth and solid, out here doing a lot of different shit, working, and capping off what started off as a rocky 2021 to a pretty good one, you know, all pandemic stuff aside, which is hard to put aside at this point.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad you have some good Friendsmas energy. Next up, my man, you see him here with me every Wednesday on the show, doing NBA with nuance. I wonder if he has some Christmas hot takes. That is Jarod Hector. Jarod, what's up, man?
What's up, man? You know we don't do no hot takes. Although I will say this lovely Friendsmas energy. I love the vibe and the idea. I came in hot because I thought y'all were talking bad about my mans on some verses. So I was really like, yo, don't be, but you wasn't. Y'all was cool. So I'm going to keep that same cool flow, Friendsmas energy going on here.
He's talking about his love for Kanye, which is pretty much.
I didn't think you were going to say the name.
Listen, I have no problem saying who it is, right? Like, I can separate the artist from, the person, like musically.
From the MAGA, yeah.
Right? Yeah, musically, I mean, hey, listen. He's MAGA. That is what that is. But musically, you can't really say nothing bad about dude musically, right? Like, I mean, so
All right.
Yeah, see, because Bryan over here nitpicking now.
Here we go.
Bryan nitpicking, and that's the thing. And Bryan only cares about angry rap. That's his thing. He needs angry rap.
True. That's not. Did you look at my top 100? The top song there was a fucking love song by Ozuna that's not even in English. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. I had Jamala in my top 100.
Yeah.
He's a Ukrainian singer.
Top 100. Yeah.
No, Spotify ranks 100 songs.
100. That's what it means.
It was 100.
It was 100.
No, Jamala was very high up. I love that fucking song.
Who was number one? Freddie Gibbs. Just keep it real.
Tiempo. Which means weather. In Spanish.
Last but not least, my man, he rocked with me on the show earlier this week. You know him as a black collegeist, my man Jamal Murphy. Murph, I know you bringing that good Christmas energy. I don't really have anything to say about you that would be like Bryan. You're not rooting for any teams. Maybe you're hoping that the Knicks don't have another outbreak on the team and are able to look good. But nobody wants to bet on that.
I'm good, man. I had a rough, long night last night watching my wife wrap presents.
He's not watching her. He wasn't even helping.
I had to give her moral support. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just not good. I'm not good at cutting in a straight line and all that kind of stuff.
Me. You want to? I can't believe I'm gonna say this on the show, but I have not wrapped the wife's gifts yet, and I don't plan to do any wrapping. This is going in a gift bag. Y'all can judge me all you want for that, but I'm not down with the rapping. No.
Wow,
No judgment. No judgment.
Yeah.
Yo, by the way, not terrible at rapping. My mom's nice. Like my mom's nice with this, so like maybe it's a thing that kind of, but not terrible.
You see, my
mom's nice too. I ain't get none of that.
I get the rapping cheese. I mean, here's what I'll say. Like, I'm not nice, but I will waste too much paper on one.
Right? See, that's my thing, Jarod. Like I can get it done, but I'm pretty inefficient.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
I'm the Jordan Clarkson of gift wrap.
I was going to get to the basketball. I'm not KD with the efficiency on rapping. Not even close.
And Jarod,
also, what you Larry Bird of gift wrapping?
Listen, chill.
I mean, oh my God. he can do it all. I don't know.
See, y'all.
Jarod, you got to keep that same Kanye energy for Kyrie. That's all I got to say.
I mean, we're gonna get to Kyrie in a minute.
Are we? Is he playing?
There might be some shenanigans going on with the NBA. We'll see.
All right, so it's a lot going on with the NBA.
Where to start?
Christmas Day. I don't know where to start with these Christmas Day games, guys, because there's so much to talk about in terms of at one point this week was like, are they even going to have these games? But then you should have kind of known it's the NBA. They're going to have to get this money train going. They want these games to happen. I like Brian and I were talking about this before the show. Anybody really excited for these games? Because right now I'm kind of like, I don't know. I mean, is there a matchup you're excited for? Because I don't know where to start. What are we excited for on Saturday?
I mean, I'll say this. Of course, we get the season like everybody else. When the schedule came out, I was like, yo, this is a fire 5-game schedule, right? You were like, this is going to be, dawn till dusk. We doing this. Then the COVID outbreak happened, and it's like, all right, well, the one game that still is going to matter because they're mostly healthy and in terms of health and safety protocols is going to be Phoenix and Golden State. Now, of course, Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole are in health and safety protocols, and that's 2/5 of their starting lineup, so that kind of still hurts them. But you still got Steph, you still got Draymond, right? And so that's going to be worse. And Curry just dropped 46 last night. So, I think that game will still be one that is worth watching. And the other four games there'll be something in each of them that's interesting.
We shall see. Any of you guys excited about anything else?
I'm kind of with Jarod on this, like not very much except for that one. That, like, to me, I love that game between the Warriors and Suns is in the middle of the schedule. I believe it's in the middle of the schedule. I think it's third out of 5.
Yes, third game. Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the main event because before that, I mean, look, I'll probably tune into Knicks Hawks because it's the first one, right? And then every other game is question marks. And then with Utah and Dallas, like even right now, we're going to talk about like those games particular later, but the spread is double figures. Luka Doncic is probably not going to play. And like I usually by that point, the 5th game is tough for me to sort of stay up and tune into anyway. But that one, I'm just not gonna like, have fun, Donovan Mitchell and everybody else there because Luka ain't there. And if Luka ain't there, I'm not even gonna try to watch the Mavericks try to figure it out without him there. So
man, everybody talking about getting knocked out early before that game comes. Murph, is there anything you're excited about here? You're rubbing your chin, so it looks like you're struggling to figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, excited is a strong word. It's a lot of it has to do with the COVID situation in basketball, but a lot of it has to do with just COVID in general. I mean, it's taking some of the excitement out of Christmas. It's in general. Like people I was supposed to travel and be in LA. I'm not. I'm still here in Brooklyn. So, the excitement aspect of it, not so much. But, I'm happy. I'm happy that they're playing games. They'll give me some form of entertainment. I cannot believe, I'm looking at these games. I cannot believe, is that the Lakers are a favorite?
Last I saw, it was anywhere between 0.5 point and 1 point.
Yeah. I don't think they should be a favorite against anybody. Like that. They're just. And you talk about disappointing matchups. Jarod's talking about, when you looked at the beginning of the year. I mean, the Knicks have been a disappointment. The Lakers a huge disappointment. So, a couple of these teams probably shouldn't even be. I mean,
got blown out last night in the last game at the Staples Center.
Yeah, I mean, it's a disaster. So I'm sure we'll get into this though.
Yes, we'll get into this. Okay, let's just go, since we have much to be excited about, let's go in a game day order, right? Mm-hmm. Let's start with when we will all hopefully be awake. Open some gifts. Me probably sipping on a little wine early. That's how I like to get down. First game, Hawks Knicks. We thought this was, when you saw this matchup in the beginning, you were like, man, this is going to be good. Trae Young coming back to the Garden. Knicks fans are going to be pumped and booing him. the Knicks have started to get a little bit of guys back in health and safety protocols. But Trae Young, as of right now, we're recording this, is out in health and safety protocols. We got Clint Capella out too. They brought back my man Lance Stevenson. He's now playing with the Hawks again. I guess good to see Brooklyn stand up, but maybe that's not good to see. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. As much as I love the NBA guys, I'm only watching this game for one reason. I'm a long-suffering Knicks fan.
True.
I wouldn't watch this game if I wasn't a Knicks fan, if I'm being completely honest. I wouldn't watch this game, but is there anything to get us to be interested at noon on Christmas Day to tune into this matchup? So what is there to grab you in other than that? I mean, unless Trae Young makes some game time decision and he comes back and clears protocols or something.
That'd be a real fast clear.
I could see it.
You know what?
Okay,
though?
No. Let's not stop there. Murph, you can see it. Let's go into why. Why, Murph?
I mean, well, how many days has he been out? I can't. It's been a while, right?
I believe it's 5.
Oh, so then it might work because the NBA and the NBPA have agreed to what, 6 days now instead of 10. So it could happen.
Right. They've agreed to 6 days. Of course, I'm surprised he's already not cleared. Did we already hear about KD? Was that
not yet?
We haven't heard about him yet.
Nothing yet.
He'll probably play.
Yeah. So I think. I mean, I'm not full blown conspiracy theorist in terms of the NBA. Earlier, the science is kind of going this way. You listen to doctors, even they'll say, first of all, you have to adjust, how we live, during this pandemic as we learn more. So I get it. And in terms of Omicron, it's not supposed to be as, serious on vaccinated people, particularly if you're boosted. So there is science behind it. It is, but of course, it is kind of fishy when it comes right up against Christmas that they're changing this kind of rule. Everybody knows that's their biggest game. But put all that together, and that's why I say I wouldn't be surprised if Trae Young comes back.
All right.
Okay. I mean, I'm with Murph on this. Look, I'm not going to go conspiracy theory, but y'all do know, and y'all know how I rock with this. The capitalist machine stops for no man. All right. Like, that is what this is about. It's that money train. These billionaire owners have lost money the last 2 seasons, right? They already told Adam, we not doing this again, my guy, like for season 3. So I don't care what you got to do. We are not stopping this season. And to Murph's point, there are a few days that are highlights on the NBA's calendar. Christmas Day Showcase, All-Star Weekend, NBA Finals, right? Those 3 periods are their highlight days. They're not messing up the TV money because let's not also forget they're negotiating a new TV deal that's coming up due soon. So they got to have these numbers looking correct. So it would not surprise me at all if because they shortened it from 10 to 6, if all of a sudden toward the end of today, early tomorrow morning, we start getting some Woj and Sham bombs. Kevin Durant magically clears player protocol. Giannis Antetokounmpo clears protocol. Trae Young clears protocol, right? Again, I'm not saying it's a full-blown conspiracy. I'm just saying the NBA, more than any other league, sells its stars in its matchups, and they need the names to be on the court.
They absolutely do. Brian, are you have any?
First of all,
you should be, okay. You got something to say? Go ahead.
Remember, Jarod, Giannis won the NBA title while having COVID.
I mean, I was gonna say, well, I mean, I ain't gonna say, but I mean, what are the chances his brother, who he spends all his time with, had COVID and he didn't get it? Anyway.
I don't know, and there's something that's going to feel very dirty to me if and when that happens, where, we start seeing tweets later on today about guys all of a sudden being cleared tomorrow, because the NBA has really shown their ass on this the entire way. They're really focused on keeping Christmas intact and trying to have some sort of star power for this event. And that's been the focus all, I guess, of these 3-4 weeks that we've sort of built up to this in recent time, where COVID's really been a factor in terms of player absences and things like that. Yeah, they really want to get this show going. So I think that, and then, as far as the return aspect of how that would affect this particular game, Trae Young is the one I would be looking at, because yes, we want to see Trae Young, if he's healthy, out there and antagonizing Knicks fans and ruining their Christmas, et cetera, or Knicks fans ruining it for Trae Young and really giving it to him in a way that's, that's all right and not sort of some of the things that we saw in select instances in the playoffs where people were like spitting on him and shit. We don't want to see that on December 24th, especially during a pandemic. Don't spit on anyone in general, unless you're about to fight, maybe, but not during a pandemic.
Unless you're about to fight.
Wait, unless you're about to fight them?
Oh, I've spit on somebody before I fought them before.
Now,
we got. Let's
look. I was also
not surprised.
The kid's name was Jordan. I remember this. And I was also very young. I was also like 10 or 11. I was in elementary school.
I mean, here's the note, kids. If spit is a part of anything happening towards another human being, them hands best be up and you best be ready to fight. Okay,
I won that one. For sure. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I won most of them.
Was there one when you spit at somebody and then you lost too?
No, that was the only person I spit at. That was the only one. Yeah. He deserved that shit. He pissed like I'm not even gonna get into
he deserved that.
Whatever. But like, yo, he really I remember he said something that really pissed me off. Some girl tried to break us up. It was just
look at him. Look at that face.
Well, Dex. I mean, but before we get into the, you guys saw what happened to Austin Rivers a couple nights ago, right? Where he got them Oklahoma City fans tossed up out of the game because they kept getting on him about his brother, about his dad, obviously being Doc, and his sister and all that. Like, you guys are with that though, right? Like, there's a line not to cross, like when you're talking to somebody, like, or else. Put them hands up.
Again, Jarod, regards to the spitting thing, I was 10, okay? Like, it's not something I would do now. So, like, yes, there's a lot. If you're a fan, if you pay for it, if you pay for a ticket, no, you're not liable to just do whatever you want. Like, yo, you still gotta, as Greg Popovich once said, respect the game. So I think that, like, because LeBron is a good example of this, right? We saw him not that long ago. I don't remember if they were playing the Pacers.
Pacers, yeah.
Pacers, yeah. So we saw like not that long ago where he got those fans pulled out. And it's like LeBron, of anyone in the NBA, probably puts up with the most shit, right? Out of any player in terms of fans and things like that. Like, for him to want to pull somebody out, then that says something, that person evidently
crossed the line.
Because I'm sure LeBron has a line where it's like, whatever, I suck, I'm trash. Like, he doesn't care about that. But they probably, we saw reports that they said like they wished death on his son or whatever. And look, LeBron, like most people, they're not playing with their family.
Any family stuff is crossing the line. All right, but to this game, who do we like to win this game? We got to make a pick on this. You see the Knicks 6-point favorite. Jarod is like, I don't even know if I want to pick this game.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? Because they home, I'm gonna give it to the Knicks. They're playing well. Also, you know what? Shout out to Kemba Walker. What a true professional, man. Like, homie got benched because look, the realities are what they were. COVID protocols happened. He had to ride Kemba the last few games, 35, 40. Like, I mean, he's doing his thing. So I hope he cooks on Christmas night. I'm gonna go Knicks on this one.
All right, going Knicks on that. Murph, who you got in this game?
I'm gonna go the other way, and for this, I'm gonna go opposite Jarod. I mean, I'm gonna pick the Hawks because the Knicks are home. I think they're 6-11 at home, 8-7 on the road. So I'm gonna go to Hawks. I don't even really care who they got out there. The Hawks do have a lot of talent. Even a lot of young talent. It's just a question of getting them to play hard. They played hard last night, got a victory at Philadelphia, which was kind of surprising. But the way they played. The way they played the day before. So, and then, I'm going to leave open the chance that Trae Young miraculously comes back. So I'm going to pick the Hawks in this game.
Brian, who you got in this game?
I wish I enjoyed watching the Knicks more this year. So I hope that sort of changes because like yo, like last game, I texted you during the game. I was like, Julius Randle just has some stretches of play where I just get very annoyed at watching him just sort of plot there and, just stop the ball entirely, like worse than he was doing last year. It's kind of reverting back to what he was doing 2 years ago in some regard. Look, I was saying that they shouldn't have benched Kemba in terms of like not playing him at all. I thought that he should have stayed in the rotation at least. I didn't think a full-on benching because evidently he wasn't the problem defensively. Like they have a lot bigger problems than just that. And he comes in and they've been sort of riding him offensively. I don't think it's something that's going to last forever. But I do think that he's going to keep it going. And you know what? I'm going to just give the Knicks this one. They need a home win very badly. They need a good Julius Randle game in the flow of the game, not just numerically. And I don't think Kemba's going to get 44 again, but honestly, you shouldn't need him to. Like, you have enough there. Obi Toppin's back, play him more. Like, you have enough there where you can get him. Yeah, Obi Toppin, some of the numbers on him.
Obi got to get all the minutes right now. Like, he's young, man. Let him play.
Yeah, his on-off numbers are really good. The Randall Toppin minutes are, I'm still trying to fall in love with them. I haven't gotten there yet. But look, that may be a conversation for another day if you have to pick one. But I will give the Knicks the win for right now.
Man, Tibbs don't believe in on-off numbers. You know that, because the minute Obi does something one half thing wrong, he on bench him for the rest of the game.
I mean, look, they are imperfect, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like at the end of the season, you may have to open up the discussion if this continues and be like,
I'm a big believer in on-off numbers. I just think Tibbs is, he's Tibbs.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Anybody excited about this one? Celtics versus Bucks.
Who's playing?
well, maybe Giannis makes a miraculous return as well for this one. The Celtics should have Tatum and Brown. That bodes well for them. I think this really comes down, will the Bucks have Giannis or not? And Giannis, I think, has been out 7 or 8 days, I believe, thus far.
Yeah, something like that.
With protocol, so we'll see if he comes back. Any excitement for this matchup, and who do you think is going to win?
There's something I'm looking forward to in this matchup, actually, and it's, yes, their big three isn't whole, but I'm looking at strength on strength in this game, right? I'm looking at Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton defensively against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I'm very curious to see how those two matchups play out, right? Because at some point, Drew is going to be on either Jaylen and or Jason, and I want to see that because Drew Holiday, forever known one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, certainly the best one under 6'5". And then Chris Middleton, also a above average, very good defensive player. So I'd be very curious to see the strength of them. And those are also the two best offensive players from Milwaukee with no Giannis. How do Jaylen and Jason do defensively against those two guys? So that part I'm very interested in seeing.
Murph, what are you looking forward to this game? Or who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, I'm not too excited about this game. One thing about these Christmas games is they usually have meaning. And then, the way the rosters are right now, you can't really give them too much meaning. You know what I'm saying, in terms of, what this means for the winner or the loser and that kind of thing. In terms of who wins, I'll give the edge to Boston here, because as of right now, Giannis isn't playing, and Boston has been playing a lot better. Udoka's been doing a lot better. He seems to have them moving in the right direction, playing more team basketball, playing good defense. So I like the way the Celtics are playing. And if Milwaukee doesn't have Giannis, and even if he comes back, and that's another thing with all these guys, if they come back, how they're going to be, just getting back from protocol. Even if they got back today, that's 1 day of practice. We saw RJ yesterday for the Knicks. He couldn't even play. He was off protocol, but he couldn't play due to conditioning. So that's another thing we got to think about. So I'm going to go Boston, because they've been playing with the team they have for a while now. They seem to be healthy, so I'm going to go with the healthy team.
I'm with you on this. I like Boston for this road upset as well, just because they're healthier. They've been playing a little bit better basketball. Brian, what do you think about this matchup? And are you Team Boston here? We don't have our boy Brad Stevens up in there coaching anymore, but you still might give him some love.
I know they're healthier, but it would be such a Boston thing to lose this, and I think that they are. I'm going to actually roll with the Bucks here. Drew Holiday has been playing well, and honestly, I'm kind of going to be pulling for a Bucks victory just so we can see Joe Johnson at some point. I just want to see Joe Johnson play. You know what I mean? That's for me, when they played the Cavs the other day, I did not care about the result at all. I enjoy watching the Cavs a lot, but the Cavs that I enjoy watching were not even healthy. And I just wanted to see Joe Johnson win, and I also wanted to see Taco Fall start. He had 10 rebounds in 19 minutes, by the way. We should be talking about that more, I guess. But yeah, I'm going to roll with the Bucks here, because Boston just has some of these. I'm not even going to act like it would be a weird loss or whatever, because the Celtics aren't unbeatable, but they just have some of these games where you would expect them to sort of rise to that occasion, and they haven't, which then leads to larger questions about the fit between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, which I guess we could address at another time. But yeah, I'm going to roll with the Bucks here.
Yeah, this is what we've come to. Getting excited about seeing Joe Johnson and Taco Fall. This is what we've come to. I'm not sure it's that good. Okay, I think the next game has a chance, I think, easily to be the best game of the day. Probably the most important game of the day as Golden State going down to Phoenix to play the Suns. Suns 6-point favorites here. I'll start with you, Murph. What do you think about this? You think your boy CP3 is gonna pull things out here, show that great leadership on that Hall of Fame resume, where we know that he's better than Allen Iverson?
Easy now.
What do you think about this matchup, Murph?
Well, it is, it's relatively early in the season, so Chris Paul probably will come through.
Oh, see.
He's fresh. I'm just saying, he's fresh. His knees are fresh. His back is fresh. His shoulders fresh. So he should be good to go for the Christmas game. So I could, Booker's back. I could see them taking care of business here. Like you said earlier, no Poole, no Wiggins. That's going to be an issue. Steph probably will try to drop 50. And we'll see whether he's on or not. But yeah, I think you got to go with Phoenix here because they're the fuller team right now. And both of these teams, so like I said, the importance of these games is in question. But this will be a nice little win for CP3. But the real deal is going to be what he can do much later in the season.
There we go.
I'm really hoping that this game. I'm glad to see you give some respect to CP3 with a little bit of shade there, Murph. We see what you did, but I'm hoping that this game is actually a really good game because it's build up. Third time that these teams are meeting up here, and it's in the middle. It's in the middle of all the games, and I'm not sure about the next game we talk about if that's going to be great at all. It might be a disaster. So come on, please, NBA guys, let this be good. Jarod, how you feeling about this contest? You talked about this being one of the most intriguing ones that you wanted to see. What do you think the keys are for if Golden State is going to get an upset here on the road?
Well, the key for Golden State's going to be defensively, right? I mean, this team is still the number one adjusted defensive rating team in the NBA. Even they played last night against the Memphis Grizzlies, my squad, and they played well, but there's some turnovers that have been happening, rearing their head with Golden State. And with a team like Phoenix, who is number 2 in adjusted defensive rating, or number 3 in the NBA, that's going to turn into easy transition points. To Murph's point, the Suns are the healthier, more whole squad right now. Everybody who has been available beginning of the season is here. Devin Booker looked good last night, and he's in a little bit of groove right now. Points just looking easier, and 3 balls on, like he's just comfortable. And remember, Devin missed most of the first game because he got hurt in the first half and he didn't play in the second game.
Yep.
And while it's only game, it's like, we're a third of the way through the season, so we're not early anymore. This game's going to matter because I think Golden State and Phoenix are going to possibly end the season very close, possibly tied in record, right? And these games are going to matter in a tie break. So Phoenix wins this one, they go up 2-1 in the series with one more game at Golden State to end the 4-game series. So this is going to be an important one, and I think Phoenix is going to want to get it. So I'm going to go with the Suns here at home. They're rolling. They're looking good. I like them to win big by double digits.
There we go. Team Chris Paul. I like it.
Listen, all right. I love CP3, the point guard out here.
There we do. Unlike some people on the show. Don't necessarily know.
He's a very, very, very good player. Very good.
Brian, how do you see this game playing out?
I'm going to roll with the Suns also, even though I kind of feel like it wouldn't shock me if the Warriors just have one of those games. Like, obviously, they're a team that's built to win on the road, even against a team like the Suns. They have role players who are really about it, as I like to say. And Steph Curry is obviously liable to go off whenever the fuck he probably wants, save for, certain defensive matchups. And I want to see, like, are they going to throw Mikal Bridges on him for a certain amount of time? And potentially like try to make him uncomfortable in a way that Matisse Thybulle did not that long ago. And if he's able to do that, right? Like, I think that's going to be something I'm going to be watching out for. DeAndre Ayton's been playing well lately. JaVale McGee has been very, very good in his role, like really excelling in his role, but one of the best sort of role players in the league so far, I would say, like as far as guys who are only getting like 15, 18 minutes a game or so. He's been really excelling in that. And Devin Booker also, like, coming back, he's been very good so far, ever since coming back from the injury. I'm going to roll with the Suns here, but, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors sort of, stole this one per se. And I'm not even sure, like, I know Jarod said he's going to pick the Suns by double digits. That wouldn't shock me either, by the way. But in terms of how I'd want to bet this, I may be inclined to take the Warriors just to keep it close because I could see this being like a one possession game down the stretch, which, by the way, I think that's what we would all be rooting for because if we're going to get a great game on Christmas, we would look to this one to being that one great game. So I'm going to roll with the Suns, but I honestly expect this one to be the game of the night. And that's not really a hot take because looking at the schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
After this, it's going to start to get dark.
Oh yeah. And
Literally and figuratively, it will be getting dark.
Yes, it is. In this game, if I was betting it, I don't love the line. I don't love the spread here. I might want to stay away from it because of what Jarod said and you said. I think it could be. You can see the Suns winning this big, and I could also see Golden State keeping it close. I'm hoping that it's close. I could see this being tighter than a 6-point game. But we'll see.
But see, that's the weird thing, though, Dex, right? It could be a super dope game, and it could be tight, 2 points with, 4 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go. Yeah. And then the Suns do a spurt at the end, and then the final more is 10. But you're like, oh, they got blown out. I was like, nah, it was a mad good game. It's just, late. Right. The Suns just did it.
Yeah, and I can see that play like that. And I think that's what makes me nervous about betting on that game. But let's just hope it's a good game because it's the only one any of us have faith in. We ain't got faith in anything else. Nobody has faith in anything else here.
So are we waiting for Steph to go into protocols? That could happen today or tomorrow.
That ain't gonna happen. I mean, look, listen, we talked about this on my show. Like when Steph broke the all-time 3-point record Wednesday night, he was here in the city. He went to catch downtown. Kevin Durant was there. Kevin Durant went to health and safety protocols 2 days later. I ain't saying. I'm just saying.
No, but why would the league have Kevin Durant in protocol and not Steph Curry though? Like that.
What makes you think Kevin Durant couldn't come back later today too?
Maybe he tested negative. I don't know.
I mean, although Steve Nash did just talk to a few minutes ago, and we're getting the Lakers Nets now that Durant will join the team in LA, but to maybe playing the Clippers game. So it looks like he's still ruled out for the Lakers. So that means he still has to return 2 negative tests within 24 hours. So that means today and tomorrow morning. If he comes back negative two times, then he'll play.
Under promise, over deliver, Steve Nash. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like it.
you see what he's doing there. James Harden will play in that game. We'll get to that in a second. And then Mark Stein also just said that Luka Doncic will remain in the league's health and safety protocols and will not travel with Dallas to Utah, which means nobody will be watching that league.
Except if you're a Utah fan, you probably watch, but
you'll watch. And that means Brian will be watching for sure. All right, next game, Nets versus Lakers. This was supposed to be the game, guys. This was supposed to be the game everybody was hyped up for. When you saw it at the beginning of the year, you're like, oh man, Nets versus Lakers, all the star power right there. We expected it to be a great game. Maybe we should have also expected that Anthony Davis wouldn't be here for this game and had nothing to do with COVID. But it is what it is. Okay, somebody, please tell me on why this game will be 8 p.m. Eastern. Tell me why 8 o'clock Eastern I should not turn my TV to something else. Why I should just not do this. Tell me why I should be excited about this game. Please, I'm going to go to our resident Brooklyn/Kevin Durant fan. That would be Jarod Hector. Jarod, let the people know why they should tune into this game.
I mean, James Harden's still playing. So is LeBron James.
Wait. Excuse me. Can we see Brian's face? Brian, are you excited about this?
I mean, right. Those are two marquee names. You still got. I mean, and Russell Westbrook is also still playing.
Though, in his defense, Jarod's not wrong in his defense, though.
All right. I mean, Russell Westbrook's also still playing, so that's another marquee name. Like, there's still marquee guys playing.
THT too. Yeah.
Chill.
Did you say THT?
Chill.
Wow.
Chill.
Wow.
I mean, so listen, here's why I say you got to tune into it. If you are a Lakers fan or a LeBron fan and you think you're trying to get to a title this year or blah, 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 whatever, I would watch this game closely, not from a ultimately, who wins and loses, but how do the Lakers come out and how do they play and compete in this game? Because they look like how they looked last night against the Spurs. I mean, I already think most reasonable basketball people know this team is in trouble and is not winning anything. But if they look bad again on Christmas night, Laker fans, y'all, listen, you need a miracle, okay? And I don't know what that miracle is. Anthony Davis coming back in a month, I don't know. And if you're a Nets fan, listen, be happy that your team, despite the heavy minutes for Durant, the protocol and all that, y'all still finding ways to win ball games, right? Like they're still the number 1 record in the Eastern Conference, and they're playing decent defense. So the Nets, and I actually, if I was betting, I expect the Nets to win this game, to be perfectly honest. Like Harden will be back. Like they got Millsap, they got Patty Mills, Blake's been playing well. Like, and those old guys had a whole week off of basketball. So them legs are feeling nice because they had a week to recover. So, the Nets should be able to win this one.
The Lakers have actually been favored pretty much all week. Although the line has been not much. It's been anywhere between half a point, as you can see right here, or 1. Murph, I'm gonna just give it to you, man. We know what you're gonna do. Just shit on the Lakers, man. Just shit on the Lakers. And why they shouldn't care.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers have they have no business beating anybody, to tell you the truth. I mean, they're terrible. I was watching the game last night, and again, they get blown out by San Antonio, which was, to me, it was predictable that they would lose that game. They were favored in that game also. And what I was thinking watching that game was poor David Fizdale. I mean, damn. I mean, you had to watch this during your time at the Knicks. Then all of a sudden, Vogel goes on protocol, and they pick you to be the coach, and you got to watch this, and it's you who got to answer questions, and it's just sad, Like what's up with Fizdale? He can't catch a break. I mean, the Lakers are just a disaster. I mean, LeBron James, he's just not getting it done.
He said
Freudian slip.
I mean, he just can't. I mean, he's getting it done, but he's just not. I mean, he's an old guy now.
It's not as effective, right?
Numbers.
Yeah, it's not as effective. Yeah,
old big body can still put up numbers, but he obviously can't take over games athletically or physically anymore. So there's only so much he can do. That's the real problem. Because we know he has the heart and he's a winner and he's a great leader, but there's only so much you can do. And really just the makeup of that team is just, I mean, they can't play defense. They're an old team. This is stuff we said, we all said at the beginning of the season. It was predictable. So I don't think there's really any hope for Lakers or their fans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it. I think I would pick the Nets even if Harden weren't playing. I think David Duke and Kessler would go off on them, and they're in protocol. So, I don't know what to think.
Yo, listen. Think about this. If you're a Lakers fan, a lineup of LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Isaiah Thomas, Carmelo Anthony, right, and THT. You are so, pardon my language, and I'm not gonna curse. You're so effed defensively. You can't do anything with that. Like you can't switch, right? Because of Melo and IT, right? LeBron can't, crank it up like that for 40-something minutes. Like this team is atrocious defensively. Listen, the Lakers got an Anthony Davis problem. Okay, that's their problem because that dude, we thought when he came into this league, who did we think he was going to be? The talk was this is somebody who could potentially be a DPOY and future MVP, right? We thought he could be Giannis, right? He ain't that.
A couple years.
He ain't that.
Yeah.
He's not. They got a problem. All right, so Murph, you were definitely taking the Nets. Jarod is definitely taking the Nets. Brian, we know how much you love the Nets. So just come on, keep it rolling, man. Take the Nets too.
Not to bring the Miami Heat into this, but
what?
There's a point I'm going to make about the Lakers roster construction and how the Heat sort of deferred from what they did and why the Lakers should have took the Heat blueprint. I'm serious. This is going to be
culture, huh? Here we go.
Hashtag Heat culture, baby.
This is going to be. See, y'all do this, but this is going to be. Y'all do this.
No.
Be a legit point.
You do this. We don't. You do this.
No.
Follow the Heat. Follow the Heat.
I'm talking about the reaction shit, but no. What I'm saying is like, yo, look.
We're reacting to what you do.
Right, exactly. But like, yo, this is about the Lakers roster construction. Yeah, and they have too many veterans.
It's about the Heat. Okay.
They have too many veterans. And where the Heat and the Lakers were building sort of their teams out in a similar way, the Heat actually kept and added a few young guys, which the Lakers don't have. So what you're seeing in the stretch is that guys are out, Jimmy Butler, Bam, et cetera, and their young guys are coming through, and the Lakers don't have that. Because the older dudes that they're relying on, one, they're not even that good at this stage. But two, there's not like a level that they're going to rise to necessarily and this be part of their development. They kind of are what they are. So there's like a hard ceiling on what I think they can be, in different ways. Without Anthony Davis, this is what it's going to be. without this person. If LeBron is there and just this group and you have no center, this is what it's going to be. Like, they've kind of fucked themselves with their roster construction. And I don't know what their answers are. I think that they can beat the Nets, but I'm not going to bet on them. I'm probably just going to bet on the Nets here because I feel more comfortable about them winning. And I think that we're going to, like, the Lakers will probably have some sort of winning streak along the way and get to, I don't know, 44, 45 wins, but it's not going to look good. It's not going to be good. And they're probably going to be like a mid-tier Western Conference team, maybe even just fall into the play-in. And they're not going to have the season that their fans thought. And I think it's going to suck, one, because, LeBron's at the end here and all those guys are at the end. So it's like you would think theoretically this is their chance. But two, it's also going to be mad entertaining because Laker fans are some obnoxious motherfuckers, like a lot of them. And like they're going to be, they live and die with this shit. Like they wanted to kill Taylor Horton Tucker after he had a terrible game. And I ain't going to lie to you. Like I ain't going to say I was with them on that because that's a little too far. But I was kind of pissed at him, too, because I picked him up for fantasy because all my injury spots are taken up.
Which means, folks, he wanted to spit in his face and fight.
No.
That's exactly what it means. Here's the thing. I think Brian makes breaks great points about the roster construction, which is why I think I texted you guys this other day. How's Rob Pelinka not gotten more heat for this? No pun intended, but Brian bring up the heat. So how has he gotten not?
No, but that's the reference point. That's the reference point, right? Like they had the same situation where they had mad veteran minimum slots, weren't going to go over the luxury tax, whatever. Carnival Cruise Line man, Mickey Harrison is not trying to spend that much. So it's like, all right, instead of getting a whole bunch of older dudes, Max Strus, you know what I'm saying? Omer Yurtseven, Gabe Vincent, and they're coming through. The Lakers don't have any of that. They had Austin Reeves.
You know why? You know why? Because GM LeBron James constructed this roster. That's why.
Well, there you go. So it sounds like all of us, we're not that excited about this, and everybody is team. I can see the Nets getting this win. Because look, if the Nets
this is where
depleted as they are, and they come off, as Murph mentioned, the loss to the Spurs, where they got their ass handed to them, it's kind of a low dark point for the Lakers here.
Playing is they're not making the playoffs. I don't think they're a solid playoff team. What have you seen in 30-something games tells you this is a solid playoff team?
Nothing. But look at the West, though. Look at the rest of the West.
That's the only thing that was.
As bad as they look, they're in the 6th spot now.
That's how bad the rest of the West is.
And they're terrible.
And they are terrible. They are terrible.
They're also
what
terrible. They've played, I believe, the easiest schedule in the league.
Easiest schedule in the league.
That's what it is. It's like the West, the East is more difficult, I think, to navigate.
Yeah,
the West
it is for sure.
The West, there's a clear top 3. There's a clear top 3, and then a significant drop off from 3 to 4 on down, right? And like I think that's sort of in the Lakers' favor because, look, at the end of the day, they do have LeBron. You expect them to figure it out to some degree. You're just not expecting it at this point to be better than like a 4 or 5 seed maybe. And if they get it that far, it's a testament to the Western Conference. And also, let's remember, like, hard to predict how health is going to impact all of this too. The Lakers have played a lot of basketball. The Heat are dealing with some injuries. The Lakers are starting to deal with some of those injuries that, a lot of basketball played in the last 2 years that may catch up to them. And again, they're older. So those soft tissue injuries, like we have to start looking at that like come January, February also.
And let me just say, let me just say on the record, I do not expect the Lakers to figure it out. I hear a lot of people saying that, they'll figure it out, they'll get a little better, LeBron figure it out. I don't expect that at all. I think it's a shit show, and it's what they created. It's what Pelinka and LeBron created, and they're gonna have to live with this. They didn't have to. You can sign veterans. They signed the wrong veterans. They signed older veterans. They signed veterans who can't play any defense. Like it doesn't make any sense. They weren't constructing a team. It's like they were constructing a fantasy team.
Trevor Ariza and Malik Monk were supposed to be key players for them. I'm sorry, Kendrick Nunn, excuse me, were supposed to be key players. Nunn and Ariza have played 0 games.
And Ariza, he's been washed. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, when was the last time Ariza? It was when he was in Houston. playing great defense on KD. But ever since then,
chill.
That was the most I ever saw KD struggle. Really,
Ariza was decent in Portland a couple years ago, and he had decent moments in Miami last year. But he's not
moments.
Yeah. Like
moments.
They should have
moments.
But to Murph's point about getting the right veterans, like yes, I think they should have signed like James Ennis instead of maybe
fucking re-sign Caruso. You'd have been better off. What the hell?
That's the one, Jarod. That's the one where I'm like, see.
If they would have stayed pat, they would have been better.
They would have been fine.
They would have been able to. They would at least.
They could guard people at least.
I love.
Made the moves just to make the moves, and they didn't necessarily need that.
And not to like totally derail this, but I do love what Chicago did in the offseason because they were like, you don't want Caruso, we'll take him. You don't want Lonzo, we'll take him. You don't want DeRozan, we'll take him. Now look, you know what
Bulls are good, man. Like they are good.
They're good. All right, Let's get to this last game. Let's talk about this really quickly because this. Really
this is where I start playing Battlefield. Dex.
This is really no need.
This is where I start playing Battlefield.
I understand why. Look at the line in this game. Mavericks. Jazz hosting the Mavericks. Favored by 12.5. These are odds we have via FanDuel, and I just told you guys about how Luka Doncic will not be traveling with the team, which means he will not clear health and safety protocols. There will be no Luka magic. There will be no Luka return, which in my opinion means there is absolutely no hope for the Mavericks. So there's only one question to ask here. Will you guys be watching this? Or, Jarod, will you be passed out for the last game like your dog Hazel was last year when she looked like she had too much wine? I'm not saying that you gave her wine, but you understand.
Yeah, chill. I don't need Peter coming over here asking me no questions.
Stop abusing the dogs, man.
See, there you go. I don't need no problems.
and around where Jarod lives, there will be a lot of people looking to get you for that. Let's put it like that. Looking to get you for that. We'll leave it at that.
They'll lock you up. You do 2 years.
Oh shit.
They're wilding over here, man. It's serious in these streets. Much like Hazel, I will be probably passed out. just like she will. Look, the Jazz can just end this quickly, right? Just go do what they do. The Jazz are, by the way, number 1 in the league in adjusted net rating right now. They are back to beating the hell out of teams they're supposed to beat the hell out of, and I see nothing changing. Christmas night. Look, the only thing if you're a Dallas fan that you can look forward to is maybe KP might go off, maybe. But, probably not because he got Rudy on the other end. But this should be no contest. Utah should win this easily by 20 plus.
And remember, KP has to play. He hasn't played. He didn't play last night. Talk about fantasy teams. I got him on a fantasy team. I don't know when he played, when he's playing, or when he's not playing. So, there's that too. They could easily be playing without both Luka and KP. And I watched that last night. And it didn't turn out well.
And they got no Tim Hardaway Jr. either, too. So this team is they got problems. They got problems, man.
Murph, you're not staying up to watch this the way you watched your wife wrap those presents?
Probably not. I'll probably be laid out after some spiked eggnog and coquito. What can I do? I'm getting old. I'm an old man. There's only so long I can stay up.
Listen. I understand. You got to choose how you spend your time. Sounds like watching the wife wrap gifts is more interesting in this game. Brian, will you be watching this game? Because we know how much you love the Utah Jazz. You just heard Jarod talk about how much better they are getting in terms of dominating teams. Your boy Rudy Gobert, the Stifle Tower, going to be stopping KP. That matchup should get the juices flowing. Should excite you, man.
He might actually be stopping Moses Brown instead if KP doesn't play. Look, this is probably like if I'm not playing Battlefield by the time Nets and Lakers is on, I'm definitely going to be playing it at this point. If Luka was healthy, yeah, I'd watch. If I knew KP was going to be healthy, I'd watch just to see it. I would still expect Utah to win. I will say this: Utah does have some weird home losses this year. As I was looking through this the other day and pulling it back up, they have one to the Indiana Pacers by 11. They have another to the Pelicans by 1, where they only scored 97 points. And they have a couple last week, one to the Spurs and one to the Wizards. So, like, they just, every once in a while, like, they have that in them. I don't think it's going to come on Christmas, though. So I'm going to be, if you want to take that Jazz minus 12.5, I don't begrudge you. Because
I like that.
The Mavs are also, like, when Luka's not, even when Luka's there, they can be tough to watch sometimes because of how just sort of, like, ISO heavy they can be and just not very. I don't like love their chemistry to this point. They have their moments, but like I thought that it was going to be a little bit smoother, but stupid me, they have Jason Kidd coaching. And, you know, with Utah, they've been very healthy this year. And they've been very good so far in the regular season. So hopefully I get good at Battlefield during this game, though, because I suck right now.
All right. I'll tell you what, don't care to watch this game, but I do like that minus 12.5 for the Jazz. I'd bang that. I would absolutely bang that if I was betting on that game.
Whatever Rudy Gobert's plus rebounds, you know, parlay shit is.
Take that. Take the over.
As an aside, before we move on, I'm looking at the NBA as a whole. We're talking about the Western Conference. I mean, they definitely have the 3 best teams in the league, right? You got Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah. Those are really the 3 best teams in the league right now. And you can look at point differential. Do you know who the leader in point differential is in the East?
Utah Jazz. I mean, sorry, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland's nice. Cleveland, and that's a good segue because we'll get to them in our next.
A lot of I will say this, like some of this is also distorted now because like the roster stuff. Like I kind of want to like look at all this in like March and see where we are. Because honestly, I think I don't even know what to make of a lot of this shit that we're seeing because like I know some deep cut dudes, right? I pay attention to the G League. I watch international basketball. I watch not as much as Murph, but I watch college basketball, mid-major shit. There are motherfuckers popping up that I've never heard of. Okay? There's a dude in the Orlando Magic right now. I think it's is ginger a bad like? Or have we canceled that word or whatever?
Probably.
Can we say ginger
For a redhead? Why is that? I mean, what?
No, because I don't know where the line is anymore.
All right, just call him a redhead, whatever.
Redhead, ginger dude, whatever. I'll call them both. I thought it was Nico Mannion, and it's not.
I thought that was him also.
I can't pronounce his name. But I saw they called him and like 4 other people up. Admiral Schofield, shout out to you, still getting them checks. They called up 4 people up before they played the Heat last week, and they're still out there because they're all banged up and shit. And I saw this dude play. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know they signed Nico Mannion. And like the third quarter, I was like, wait, what's his name? Because it took a minute to like figure it out.
Why are you trying to say all these redheads look alike, man?
He looks like Nico Mannion.
The best was that meme that was going around the other day about what the NBA is going to look like. It had Wade and Common.
And Common from that basketball movie. I was dying.
Was that Just Right?
Just Right, exactly.
Oh my God.
Just Right.
That is about to be the NBA. It's true.
All right, real quick, we gotta run through this because Murph's got to get up out of here. But we're gonna do this little segment. I heard. Why am I blanking here? Jarod talked about this on True Hoop early this week. They gave gifts to different NBA teams, and some teams need a gift. I still would love to hear what Murph would gift the Lakers. That would probably be pretty interesting. They need a lot. What gifts would you guys give to NBA teams? Murph, I'll start with you. What teams would you give some gifts to that could help them this season or beyond?
Well, I was going to give gifts to those teams playing on Christmas Day, and like I said, I'll start with the Lakers. I would gift the Lakers a real general manager, a real president of operations, one who would not listen to your best player and do everything he wants you to do, and would really just make pure basketball decisions and not treat it like a fantasy team. That's what I would do, because you need someone, you need a real critical basketball thinker in there, and I don't think they have that. And until they do have that, they're going to be a disappointment. And then to the Knicks, I would gift them Zion Williamson, hurt and all. It's obvious the Knicks need a lot of help, and it really starts with a number one, a high level player to be their best player. We see that Randall is not that. We can move on from that pipe dream. Even I fell for it a little bit last year, the way he was playing, but he's not that, obviously. So, I would gift them Zion Williamson. I know people are like, oh, he's hurt all the time. At least when he's on the court, he's not brittle. Okay, there are guys when they're healthy or so-called healthy, and they go into the season, and you still worry about whether they're going to make it through a game.
I
you know,
wonder who you're
Dame,
talking about.
you know,
I
talk
wonder
about
who you're talking about.
AD, KP, you know, guys like that. Now that's injury prone. Like when you have to worry game by game whether they're gonna play because whatever injury they're gonna come with. At least we saw Zion made it through a whole season last year. He's had some off-season injuries. Maybe he should take the season off, you know, for his own health. Even though New Orleans, you know, they probably
Playing well.
They can
Starting to play
make
well.
the play-in, you know,
They starting to play well.
especially if he came back healthy. So, but I mean, that's what the Knicks need. They need a gift from God, and I think it would be Zion.
Okay, a gift from God, Zion. I like the religious all in there. It's pretty good.
Good call.
Brian, why even waste time? What are you gifting?
Here we go.
Here
we go.
What are you gifting the Heat, man? Like, just tell us. Like, don't waste our time, man. Just give gifts to the freaking Miami Heat. Let's go.
No, I'm not gonna give a gift to the Heat because that would be too.
You know
that would be too predictable. That would be too predictable. I will give I'm gonna go the transaction route for the first one at least. I'm gonna give the Nuggets to DeJounte Murray just because I want to see it. I want to see how that looks. I talked about this in our group text last week, but the Nuggets have picks. They have Bol. They have contracts that they could sort of assemble in a way that it's kind of difficult. And I don't think the Spurs should trade DeJounte Murray, to be clear. But there are a couple guys where I'm like, yo, try anything to get him if he could be available. And like DeJounte Murray on the Nuggets would make a lot of sense to me, especially if you're able to keep your guys together, because then when Jamal Murray comes back, if it's this season, probably will be, but late. And Michael Porter Jr., we don't know. That's something that could still work. If you have DeJounte Murray, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic, I think that's a championship level starting five. And then from there, we'll see. So that's the first gift. The second one, honestly, just good health to all these teams going forward. Like, that's really the main thing. Like, I want to see teams healthy. I want to see guys healthy. I'm really hoping that while this variant, Omicron, Decepticon, as I call it, is not very deadly, specifically if you're vaccinated / boosted, you know, we still don't know long-term effects of what COVID can do. Like, we're still unclear of that. There are some people who deal with it differently. A lot of people are getting it and sort of getting over it, but there are some cases like Asia Dur. You know what I'm saying? We talked about Raquel Armstead, where this is halting careers, and these are athletes. So imagine just regular people, right? So I'm hoping that this doesn't really affect the league in that way, and that guys are able to come back healthy. Though I will say, like, I am enjoying seeing Isaiah Thomas and Lance Stevenson and Damian Dotson and, you know, guys getting opportunities. James Ennis, who we talked about, who's now in the Nets, Langston Galloway. A lot of guys getting opportunities that wouldn't have. And I think that's cool. And I hope that Joe Johnson also, and I hope that they're able to take advantage of it. So, yeah, I wish good health for NBA teams just in general. So we could have some good, healthy basketball. But seeing as how we're not halfway through the season, I don't know if that wish will be able to be granted. So I'll knock on wood and cross my fingers for that.
Oh, Dex, can't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I was muted there. What are you giving the teams, Jarod?
I mean, one in each conference. Cleveland Cavaliers in the East. I want to give them an all-star caliber wing who can create his own shot, give you 20 points, and can play good defense on this team right now. Because I think if that team currently, if you added that caliber wing to them, they're already, I think, a solid playoff team. They could win a round and maybe another round, right? Like that. That's how good they play defensively. I'm really enjoying watching this young Cavs team. And while the injury to Colin Sexton was unfortunate, Darius Garland has shown that he can be a point guard. And Evan Mobley, you know, it's very rare for a rookie to be a net positive impact on a team. He is a positive 3.7 estimated plus minus, which is phenomenal. So shout outs to Evan Mobley and the Cavaliers. I want to piggyback on Brian's Nuggets thing, and I kind of want to do a little bit of a time machine, a little bit of health thing. I love it if they could decide as an organization, we're punting on this season, right? Because they went
the other way.
Because they advanced far. They went to the conference finals 2 years ago in the bubble in that messed up season, and they played a ton of basketball. Jokic played all regular season, and they got to the second round last year. That dude's gassed, even though he might win a second MVP. Give them punt this season so he can rest. Wish health on Michael Porter Jr. maybe that trade could happen with DeJounte Murray, but I truly think a big three of Jokic, MPJ, and Jamal Murray, to Brian's point, that is a title-worthy championship big three. Like that is good enough. Yes, I would put them against the Warriors, the Suns, anybody. So I love to see that for Denver. But teams don't like to do that. They got competitive balance, blah blah blah.
I like that point though, Jarod. Like, just to piggyback off that, because remember I talked about the Heat and Lakers having 7 weeks between the bubble championship and then last season starting, and then cramming this all in. Like the Nuggets and Celtics, by the way, only had 9 weeks
exactly
because they were all the way into the conference finals, and then the Nuggets even won a round last year. And, I do fear about that because Jokic has played a lot of basketball. He didn't even want to play in the Olympics because he was tired. Or Olympic qualifiers rather, because they didn't even qualify for the Olympics. But you got to worry, soft tissue stuff, COVID, et cetera, et cetera. And Jokic he doesn't miss games, right? So that happens, and at some point you're gonna miss games, because I changed the way I look at injuries entirely. I used to be like, yo, this guy's hurt. I mean, this guy's injury prone, whatever the case may be. Now, when I look at guys who haven't been hurt, I'm like, it's coming at some point.
Yeah.
Happened with Bam this year. Bam's another guy. Played a lot of basketball, Olympics, all this shit, soft tissue.
Had to mention a Heat player.
But you have to look at this that way, right? Like, we have to evolve the way we think about injuries. Like, just because a guy is hurt. Now, yes, there are some people who are injury prone. But when you get those soft tissue injuries, that's not because you're injury prone, man. That's because of too much wear and tear and use. Like, every sports scientist who is worth their salt will tell you the maximum efforts an NBA player should give over a 7-day span, which is a week, is 2. That's it. 2 to ensure optimal performance each and every time. We know they do way more than 2 times in 7 days, right? And that's not good.
Right. My gifts, I'm giving. It's funny because the first gift I'm gonna give, it's kind of to a team, but it's really to a player. Look, let's just be blunt here. I'm giving a gift to Kyrie Irving. And you got options, bro. You got options. Johnson & Johnson. Take one. Just take one. And let's get this over with and keep it moving so the Nets fans can be happy. We don't have to deal with the BS anymore. You got the gifts. They're giving it for free. We ain't got to wrap it. We ain't got to do nothing. Just take the gift and let's keep it going. Nets fans want this. Brian's talking about health and safety. We're talking about all this other stuff. Let's do that. That's for the Nets. My second gift. I'm with Murph. I like Murph's gift, giving it to the Knicks and getting Zion Williamson. I think Christmas would have come early for a lot of Knicks fans. But I'm not even going to go that far with the transaction for the Knicks. Here's what I want. Tom Thibodeau, give you the gift of playing the young guys. Let's see what we got. Let's play a little bit of Obi Toppin. See how he's developing. Brian talked about those on or off numbers. We see those looking good. Quentin Grimes has looked good when he came in and showed. Miles McBride. When these guys got the opportunities, they've stayed ready, and they look like they're your kind of players, Tom Thibodeau. So let's play it. The Knicks have been disappointed this season. I know this as Knicks fans. Murph makes a great point. Randall isn't who some people thought they were. I never thought he was a number 1. I still think he's probably good as like a 3 on a really good team, and that's fine. But let's see what you got with some of these young guys. Develop them. Maybe trade some pieces. But if you're the Knicks, what do you got to lose? Develop these young guys. There's nothing wrong with that. Give the gift of playing the young guys. We'll see if Tom Thibodeau does that. And Kyrie, man, take that vaccine. Come on. You know what time it is.
Kyrie wildin', man. Like, he really on that, like, it's like dog. Like, come on. Like, the idea, like, I don't want to be a distraction. Mervin, I heard you say this on the show earlier the week. Just you being you is inherently a distraction, right? Like, just your existence is just a distraction, right?
Yeah,
so, like,
always been a distraction,
right? So, my guy, like, just do the thing because it's just, because you know what's going to happen, right? We're going to get through this and I'll be like, over the next 3 games, Kyrie Irving will be in the lineup because because it's the road games. And the minute they come home and they lose, you know this is coming. Like, again, why are you adding things that we know are already going to be problematic to a season? It's just the NBA. Problems just exist because they do. Like, why are you adding shit unnecessarily? Come on, my guy. Be better.
I don't think we all have any answer to this. All right, we've about run out of time here. Really great show, guys. Appreciate everybody coming on. I said Thanksgiving. I'm trying to go back in time. Christmas Eve here. Hopefully everybody's enjoying. Hopefully people still have some gifts to wrap. You know, Murph and I don't because we don't do that. Brian, if you still have some gifts to wrap, or Jarod, please enjoy that. I want to wish all of y'all a healthy, happy, and safe Christmas. This is the final show that we're going to be doing for 2021 because, we're going to be eating and drinking a lot.
Exactly, man. We got to chill out.
Got to rest up. Got to take care of our bodies as well, too. So, guys, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate all of y'all for being on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Helping out. And hopefully everybody gets what they want this Christmas, and we actually get to see some good NBA games. If we're looking at this later today and people are coming in and we see KD will be playing and Kyrie might be playing and some other guys, some teams might have got gifts that they didn't think they were going to get. But we will see. But guys, appreciate y'all. Merry Christmas to everybody out there watching, listening, supporting. We encourage you to keep supporting all of us. Support Brian with the work he does with FanDuel. Also, he's been doing with the basketball news. Please support Jarod with the 7 Footers podcast. You see him here on this show with me. Also, True Hoop. Support Murph with the Bros Pod as well, too. And up next is other great podcasts that he does as well, too. Appreciate all you guys. But until next time, we will see you guys on the NBA Exchange, where hopefully we'll be talking about some more basketball and not watching players like Joe Johnson and other guys in 2022. Until next time, everybody. Peace.
Merry Christmas.